Welcome back to another episode of Scrap the Culture That's Killing Us. As always, please like and subscribe to the channel. It helps the algorithm and it helps us get this message out there to those that need to hear this. But before we go any further, please take a look at this.
Nigga, listen to me closely. Ain't no one no more. These young boys ain't playing and shoot first. And don't you get too comfortable depending on where you go. I hope you understand now. This ain't worth another man down. I don't know how much more I can take. There's no other place like these feeling streets now. Yeah. And even though it was hard, it's still a part of me. So it's still a part of me. And no matter where I go, no matter where I go, the city is still my home. The city's still my home. There's no other place that I'd rather be from. I'd rather be so. Yeah.
As you can see by looking at the picture, what the topic is for today: Monopoly. A pastime great and also probably a relevant game in this day and time. Take a look at the board. What you see on this board is the infrastructure. You see railroads with the trains, you see airplanes, you see real estate, you see the central banking system, and you see jail. I want to talk about this for a second because it's sickening to see just how much we disregard life. We disregard human beings. We disregard one another. It's bothering me to see how the youth, not just the youth, but the young generation in general, run around taking life like this, like it's a video game, like there's no tomorrow. So we got to talk about this. The monopoly. I want y'all to take a second to really process this information. While looking at the monopoly board, right? You have things that make the world go around. It's operating on it. But out of the clear blue sky, if you're looking at it from an untrained eye, you will see jail. Now, if you're thinking at it from a different standpoint, you would say to yourself, why is it a jail on a game that's about making money? Why is it a jail on a game that's about wealth? Why is it a jail on a game board about real estate, about trains, about planes? Why is that? I have to express this to you, and I have to express it to you very clear. Whether we like it or not, we're in a monopoly. But the thing about this monopoly, we can choose to play it or we can choose not to play it. Sometimes we don't want to say the things that need to be said. We don't want to say the truth. We don't want to stop the youngers and say something to them and say, hey, listen, you don't want to get caught in this system. This is a system. And once you get caught in it, it's so easy to get caught in it, and it's hard to get out. We don't want to have conversations with them because sometimes we feel though it's too hard to have a conversation with them because they look at us like we don't know anything, or like we're from different generations, or we don't know nothing about what's going on here. We don't know what's going on here. That's why I always say, scrap the culture that's killing us. What is culture? I gotta keep saying this over and over and over again. Culture is a set of beliefs, ideologies, traditions passed down from one generation to another. Some traditions, some cultures within a culture is good. But when you look at the culture that we're faced with today, I'm talking to us. Follow me. If you look at the culture that we're faced with today and that we see today, we see a culture of unspeakable things. We see a culture of death. We see a culture of incarceration. And yes, these blights and things has already been there, and it's been there for a long time. But if you take a closer look, this culture and these problems inside of a culture is magnified tremendously. It is almost like there is no time where someone can just enjoy the presence of other people without something happening. We're in a time where we can't even just enjoy the presence of one another, have a good laugh, do some things with each other, go to the park and be safe and enjoy ourselves, or go from cookout to cookout and get a soda or get a sandwich or get a hot sausage or get a burger or get some chicken. We can't even do those simple things no more because every simple thing that we should be enjoying in parts of life, there's going to be some violence that's going to erupt at these situations. In Philadelphia, you can't believe how many people you see running around in 90-degree weather with masks on. You can't believe how many times that you can talk to somebody and you look them in their eyes and it seems like there's an emptiness there. It's no one home. But I just want to bring some light to the monopoly if you play it, if you get caught into it. Jail wasn't placed on a monopoly board for nothing. Sometimes things that you don't pay attention to is put right in front of your face. Let me say it again. Sometimes things that you don't pay attention to is put right in front of your face. And they laughing at us. Because we chose to play the game. Why get caught in a game that you voluntarily play? There's no winners. We scrape, we claw, we scratch, we fight over kibbles and bits. We fight, we kill, we murder, we go to jail over chump change. This is what poverty do to us. Is there a better way? Of course, there's always a better way. There's always a better way. We just got to take the roads that leads to a better way. We got to make the hard decisions instead of taking the easy route all the time. It's better to be a square than a cool dummy in a casket. Let me say it again. It's It's cool to be a square instead of being a cool dummy in a casket. Yes, we all got our time. Listen, we're faced with so many different things that's happening in our community. We're faced with so many different obstacles. We're faced with so many different challenges. But we're going to have to see our way through this. We're going to have to stand together to fight our way through this. Life is precious, but it's only here for a moment. You only get a moment. It's like a blip on the radar. 1 minute you're here, the next minute you're gone. Why not make the best of your life while you're here? Of course, those that came before us understood the different challenges and obstacles that was set before them. And then they passed on what they can pass on to us. Of course, we understand the different obstacles and challenges that's laid before us. And we left some things in this generation. There is obstacles and challenges that's before you. But you're going to have to stand, having done all, stand. You don't have to succumb to the environment. Every day I talk to people. Every day I talk to my coworkers and I tell them, I said, man, I knew some squares that I was growing up with, man, and they used to shake their head at me when I was doing the things that I was doing. And guess what? They lived a wonderful life. And then I took the hard route, incarceration. Going through all the different pitfalls and obstacles. Because I wanted to take the easy route. They took the hard route. They stood across the street while I ran into the battle. I ran to a battle that I had nothing to do with. I ran to a battle that I didn't have to go join. And I joined it and I lost. So if you're listening to me, youngins, you don't have to war within yourself. You don't have to war amongst your people. We don't have to keep taking each other's lives. For what? At the end of the day, it's a lose-lose situation. There's no winners. There's all losers. Whether you're on the ground or whether you in the ground in the casket or whether you're incarcerated, buried alive. There's no winners. We have to start finding conflict resolutions. We got to start learning how to talk things out, work things out. We have to really get on board with making some changes within ourselves, and then start with ourselves. It start with one day you got to wake up and say, yo, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to be a part of this anymore. I want to see my child. I want to see my children's children. Stop living in a 4-block radius. Go out and see some parts of life. Go to different states. Go see some people that look like you but talk a little different. Go eat some different food. Move around a little bit. Life is so much more than just the 4-block radius. Life is so much more than wanting to be in somebody's jail locked down for 100 years. Because I promise you, they don't have a problem giving out 100 years. Incarceration feeds a whole lot of what we see today. We don't have to be this way. Scrap the culture that's killing us. Tear it up. Let's start a new one. Yeah, it's going to be hard. Yeah, it's going to have obstacles. Yeah, you're going to have challenges in it. But let's tear this culture up of death, of not valuing nobody else's life. Scrap the culture that's killing us, and let's start a new thing. Peace.